developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity.
We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. As if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy.
Silence! The great and powerful Oz knows why you have come.
You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. You have meddled with the primal forces of nature.
Don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts.
With Jason Bermas.
And who loves you? And who do you love?
Good morning, good morning, good morning. And it looks like AJ was right again. So I'm going to have to be really careful in this video because, number one, not only does it appear that the Jonesy was correct once more, but it looks like we're about to see more restrictions and more deplatforming and more people getting their YouTube channels taken, okay? These people aren't playing around. I want to put that out there. I want people to understand this is the real deal Holyfield. And look, I heard Jones the other day, and I was listening to him carefully, and I was thinking to myself, okay, you know, this isn't. First of all, none of it's what you want to hear, right? Nobody wants to hear what's actually happening because nobody wants to believe that these psychopaths would dare to impose their authoritarianism in the manner that they did in the last few years on us once more. It's about to happen. I really hope somehow we are able to stop it. But I'm going to go over a few key things that make me believe that this is the real deal. And by the way, I interviewed Ray Dietrich of the network yesterday. I thought I was going to be putting it out in the next 2 days while I was on the road, but turns out, believe it or not, I was able to get a really cheap direct flight to Vegas on the 2 days. It was kind of ridiculous. Direct both ways, so there's a good chance that I won't have any stutter steps. So I won't be leaving until Thursday afternoon. So it looks like it's going to be live, and that's going to be one of the premiums coming up this weekend. I also interviewed Dan Dix. We will probably play some of that either in the second hour today, but more than likely we will be playing that in Wednesday's broadcast. By the way, still having tons of tech issues. I want to put that out there. But getting back to Ray, you know, he decided, look, let's give YouTube another chance. Right? Let's give YouTube another chance. And we're not going to go buck wild. We're not going to go live streaming McGee where you can just go off and say everything. No. We're going to go a very different route, and we're just going to post select clips. Done. Gone. And they took his Google account. See, a lot of people don't understand that more comes with it than just your YouTube account. If you have your entire Google ecosystem on the magic box for all you iPhone people, that's like destroying your Apple ID and taking away all your purchases. And forget about advertising and using AdSense. I mean, that's already corrupted to the bone. Am I allowed to say these things, or will these things one day eventually be medical misinformation? Because I'm going to show you a few stories that clearly point to what Jones was saying just the other day, and then in unison, there seemed to be more and more of a rollout. But then I'm going to show you how just this week, I think in the last 4 days, YouTube once again has updated their medical misinformation policy. Look, this isn't the Jimmy Dore show. I can't say a third of what Jimmy Dore says about the C word. I'm running a risk even saying CVID 1984 nightmare, believe it or not. Because when you read this new medical misinformation policy that expands beyond what we just talked about into anything they want under the World Health Organization, like I've been warning everybody about, and then you see that YouTube is an extension of Google and has all sorts of government contracts. An extension. They are an extension of the military-industrial complex. That's all they are. Plausible deniability central. Okay? So Jones comes out with this info. And let's start here. The federal government has already been begun buying you-know-what equipment and hiring consultants to enforce pandemic-era safety protocols. Some of these contracts scheduled to begin in September and October. Let's take a look. I can tell you right now, there is zero chance that if in fact this starts rolling out again, I'll be going anywhere that requires some of that. You understand? Nowhere. And if you're a small business, you better believe that this is the death blow for you. If somehow you survive, this is the death blow for you if you go along with this. Do you understand? It's right here. That they're gearing up again. Right here. DOD, run. Okay? This is a big deal. So then, we'll just play this right here. And by the way, this is it. If your job is about to require insanity, if your school is about to require insanity, it's time to leave. Any school, any college, any job. If the last 3 years wasn't the lesson of your lifetime, and it didn't finally get you to take note, I don't know that you have much of a fighting chance, quite honestly. But, are we going to do the TikTok dance videos again? Like, what is this? So, if you go to this school, if you go to Marion College, Morris Brown College in Atlanta, you need to leave. It's time to go. You do not give them your business, because that's what this is to them. It's a business.
And in other news, COVID hospitalizations are on the rise in Georgia. Our Valencia Jones takes a closer look.
This is what endemic means. It doesn't go away.
A spike in COVID cases, causing some concerns for Dr. Jane Morgan and other medical experts. The CDC's most recent data showing hospitalizations are up by 30% in Georgia.
We know now with this heat wave, so many people have been driven indoors when we're usually outdoors, and we're also traveling a lot during the summer, so we're carrying the virus from one group to the next.
Overall, the number...
I just want to point out the oxymoron there. First, this woman says that we're inside more because of the heat wave. And then she goes, we're traveling more because it's summertime. Like, again, I got to be I don't even play in this news clip, as absurd as it is. Okay? You know what? We're going to save the rest of the news clip because I don't want to go off too hard in the first hour. This is why we have the second hour. We're just putting it right there. I'm not going to get excited. I'm not going to tell you what to think about it. Or what I think about it, other than she just had her cake and ate it too. So on top of Atlanta College government doctors in Seattle, in Washington State. We're going to get to Washington State today. You know, we're going to get to, in fact, one of the things I talked about with Dan Dix were these fires and wildfires in Canada that have now reached North America as well. And look, there's a lot to be discussed, but no matter what are they doing? They're blaming everything on climate change. And what does climate change have to do with you being bad? Too many people on the planet. That's what they repeatedly say. Repeatedly. Are you listening? So, you know, this is the new variant. They're talking compulsory again. If this happens to you, you need to leave your job. I'm sorry. There is no other way right now. You need to leave your job under duress. And not only, I mean, if you have the resources, sue. It's the only thing these people understand. That's it. So look, you can hate Jones all you want. Okay? You can hate Jones all you want, but does this not look spot on to you? Does it not? Because guess what? Here's the World Health Organization, and here they are. They're about to censor more content contradicting WHO guidelines. Now, so once again, by proxy, on the biggest technopoly stage, I list it often, but if you're new, if someone shared the broadcast, if you're just starting to get this, let's discuss it. Google is not a tech company. It is not capitalism. Okay? You want, everybody's talking that's in the know right now about the Everything app, WeChat, and Musk. Musk is essentially the face of their Trojan horse civilian system for Twitter at this point. Just like Google, all right, it is this Leviathan that we interact with it on a daily basis, whether we like it or not. It's not a search engine. It's not an operating system. Okay? It's not just the largest platform for video in the world. It's so much more. But there it is right there. You see, once you control the top 2 search engines, which they do, who Bings? Who Yahoos? That, like, what's the competition on DuckDuckGo? How good are the results there? Just like people were asking me, well, what's the big deal about Musk deleting things from 2014 and before for space? It's not for space. They got plenty of space. Like, storage is cheap. They're erasing history. They're controlling narratives. That's what all of this is. So now you find out, oh, wait a minute. No, Google's not just these things. It's also encompassed in artificial intelligence and quantum computing with NASA, some of the biggest black projects in the world. And they don't pay any taxes somehow. And they don't pay any taxes. Yeah. Totally capitalistic company. Oh, yeah, by the way, they also happen to have this weird division where, you know, they want immortality. Calico. And they put the top futurists in charge of it. And there's like a ton of little eggshell Russian doll companies. You get it? All over the place, under different names and in different guises. No real competition. No real payment to the system. And at the same time, they collude openly as a company with other nation states and intelligence agencies. This is the technopoly. This is the takeover. People need to understand that. Like, it's on. We're going to read what the new guidelines are, word for word from YouTube. And I'm telling you right now, before COVID, you saw a lot of people starting to get banned and them censoring. And then it went through the roof, 2021 style. 2020 and 2021, they couldn't wait. 2021, really. I mean, February is when we really started to get hit hard to start taking channels. I predict it's about to happen again because when you read this, it's all going to be selective enforcement and anyone that challenges the narrative under the guise of safety. So we got to take a break. Thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. Again, it looks like AJ was right. Again, do not comply and leave your job. That's it. Leave your school, leave your job. Do not comply. We'll be back after a word from our sponsor.
Attention Americans, breaking news. Biden's dangerous plan for a digital dollar is underway. Don't be fooled. It won't benefit you. Take action now. The Federal Reserve phased deployment of FedNow began on July 1st, 2023. Be prepared. This may catch many off guard. Your hard-earned assets are in jeopardy. But there's a simple legal tax loophole to opt out of the digital dollar. Reach out to American Alternative Assets for a free wealth protection guide and discover how to safeguard your wealth with gold and silver IRAs against a failing dollar and volatile markets. Visit protectfrombiden.com. This invaluable guide provides precise steps to transfer your IRA or 401k into precious metals without any tax consequences. Be smart. Don't let Biden force you into using the government's new digital dollar. Visit protectfrombiden.com to get your free guide and get started. Again, that's protectfrombiden.com.
Okay, we are back. Thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. And remember, the second hour is over at RVM Rumble.com, and that's where we're going to play the rest of that news clip. I've got a whole other news clip of Scott Gottlieb talking about this new variant. It's on, baby. It's on. And remember what I said about 3 to 5 years after the boopity boop. The little biggity bobbity boopity boop. Remember when I said stuff about that? We're in a bad spot. We're in a bad spot in the post-truth world, and the censorship is just going to get greater. And, we talk, myself and Ray talked a lot about this because, you can't, not only is it unfair business practices, but, and it discourages people that way. But at the end of the day, who's really hurting who? Right? Who's really hurting who? And then they can just claim ignorance. And they were just trying to keep everybody safe. Everybody's got to be safe. Got to be some safety town. So let's do it. Let's read it. Okay. YouTube doesn't allow content that poses a serious risk of egregious harm by spreading medical misinformation that contradicts local health authorities, LHAs. So again, they can cherry pick anything they want, or the World Health Organization guidance about specific health conditions and substances. This policy includes the following categories: prevention misinformation, treatment misinformation, and denial misinformation. So I guess I really can't talk about the transgender/transhuman agenda because those things are promoted by the World Health Organization. And they tell you there's new science that suggests this and that and infinite this and infinite that. The censorship train's about to chew down the track, everybody. Note, YouTube's medical misinformation policies are subject to change in response to changes to guidance from health authorities or the WHO. There may be a delay between new LHA's WHO guidance and policy updates, and our policies may not cover all LHA WHO guidance related to specific health conditions and substances. Again, we'll do what we want when we want. It's total selective enforcement. Just don't talk about these things unless you're agreeing with what they say at the moment. If you're not agreeing with what they say, and they, in this case, are local health authorities or WHO, World Health Organization. Now, what if they contradict each other? Are you even allowed to point that out? Probably not. That's probably a no-go, especially if they don't like you. Okay? Don't post content on YouTube if it includes any of the following. Prevention misinformation. We do not allow content that promotes information that contradicts health authority guidance on the prevention of transmission of specific health conditions or on the safety, efficacy, or ingredients of currently approved and administered, I don't even want to say the V word. You can't talk, think about that. You can't talk about transmission in its respect, specific health conditions, safety, efficacy, or what's in it. You can't discuss what's in it unless you say it's the best thing ever, just like the WHO is going to tell you. Treatment misinformation. We do not allow content that promotes information that contradicts health authority guidance. See, yeah, it's always guidance, or belief. Yeah, I mean, none of this is absolute truth, and they know it. They use semantics. They use Bernaysian language and talking points. It's all PR right here. Health authority guidance on treatments for specific health conditions, including promotion of specific harmful substances or practices that have not been approved by local health authorities or the World Health Organization as safe or effective, or that have been confirmed to cause severe harm, because they care so much about us. Boy, do they care. I'm glad that the WHO and Google are out there caring so much. What is this? Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's the post-truth world. It's a world that incentivizes you to twerk on a pole in a 30-second video for clicks and views and review the latest fast food with a cat in the front seat and the backbeat of the latest trendy song, and it means nothing. And it means nothing. It's got no real social commentary other than we've destroyed ourselves. No real value. And everybody wants to be involved in that because you can make money and you get clicks. You can be famous, go down the red carpet. Isn't that nice? No. Because if you talk about anything that matters and you warn people about what's going on, again, the UN by proxy right now has total narrative control over the largest video platform on the planet and the second largest search engine on the planet and the first largest search engine on the planet. Right now, by proxy, they get to state whatever they want as fact. Denial, misinformation. We do not allow content that denies the existence of specific health conditions. These policies apply to videos, video descriptions, comments, live streams, and any other YouTube product or feature. Don't make a comment they don't like. Keep in mind that this isn't a complete list. In other words, we'll do what we want when we want. Please note these policies also apply to external links in your content. So let's also look at it this way. Let me tell you where this also goes for all you other content creators out there that are doing the types of videos I was just talking about. Let's say you have an affiliate link and it's doing really well. But guess what? That affiliate business isn't in line with ESG or SDG. And eventually, this is down the line, they just say that link is an external link that breaks their policy, and they just arbitrarily strike you down. Or they lower your algorithm. Or they outright ban you from working with those people. Because that's where all this goes, right? That's where all this goes. So, and the thing is that, the reason it's selective enforcement is because they do try to keep as much of it under the radar as they possibly can, because they're trying to control this great narrative that it's not that bad and they're really going after the bad guys. And that actually they're the heroes in this story. You see that, and that's why people who are a cut above smart guys like Jimmy Dore and have that audience, that brigade, if you will, that they're allowed to go much further than I. Think about how weird that is. That Dore, and I like Jimmy, is going farther than I could ever go again on his YouTube channel in regards to the subjects we're talking about now. But if you flip it from 2023 to 2020, think about what I was talking about in comparison to Jimmy. And how much of my material reflects what Jimmy's saying now from there that got banned on this platform. That's where we're at. Okay? So this can include clickable URLs verbally directing users to other sites in a video as well as other forms. So there it is right there. So, if I'm directing somebody to go check out some kind of a news story or a video that they don't like now, that's denial misinformation. If I just say, hey, why don't you just check out what this person has to say? Nope, not anymore. No bueno, not going to happen. So, if you're just joining us, again, all the hallmarks are here, right here. You have the contracts coming up, September and October. Diagnostics, also Department of Veterans Affairs, DOD, hyping it up. We got this piece that we played literally 30 seconds of fear-mongering. We'll play it, the whole thing in the second hour. That's a promise. So we'll play the whole thing in the second hour. Then I've got a whole other video in the second hour that I just don't want to play here because, again, all this misinformation get you banned. And let's go through it, right? So let's look at the harmful substances and practices and prevention as prevention methods, because this is going to be really ridiculous, because they love to put in the absurd. All right? Promotion of the following substances and treatments. They present are inherent risk of severe bodily harm or death. So MMS, miracle mineral solution. Okay? Black salve, don't know what that is. Turpentine, I don't know who's talking up turpentine. So B17, I don't know what amygdalin, peach, or apricot seeds. Now here's, I want to make sure that we don't get wild here, because again, I don't want to get banned, YouTube, but I do want to point out that G. Edward Griffin made a documentary based in what they're talking about there. I think it's Levitrol is also in that document. I hope I'm not directing people to it, just mentioning it. But G. Edward Griffin did a documentary way back in the day called A World Without Cancer. Okay? So aside from A World Without Cancer and all these other things, you can get peach or apricot seeds in a crushed format. I think even on Amazon. They're pretty pricey. Okay? High-grade hydrogen peroxide. Now, I don't know what they would be saying that. I mean, hydrogen peroxide, as I know, is really good for cuts. I know some people gargle it. Let's see. Sheldon therapy or to treat autism. So I don't know what that is. I couldn't tell you. So you can't talk about colloidal silver or ozone therapies. And then I don't know what gasoline, diesel, and kerosene to do what. What is this? See, I feel like they put in the absurd on top of everything. Content that promotes the use of... Okay, so I'm not even going to say those words in the prevention of you-know-what, but it's the I word and the H word. Now, you look at somebody like RFK Jr., and, I think we played it in the second hour yesterday. Can't play it in the first hour. More people are saying things you can't say on YouTube. And that's the other thing. you look at this, and Dore can say those words in regards to, I can't. Claims that there is a guaranteed prevention method for the COVID 1984 nightmare. Claims that any medication or boobity boop is a guaranteed prevention method. See, that's kind of an inverse. So claims that any medication or even now that this is a guaranteed prevention method. I mean, those videos are still up. Again, selective enforcement. How many times they hammer home that you couldn't transmit on mainstream television? Come on. Thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. Remember, rvmrumble.com for the second hour. We got to go to another break. We're going to come back after this and continue on reading through the misinformation and disinformation medical policies that YouTube has just updated under the good people at the World Health Organization. I love those people.
When I invented MyPillow, my passion was to help each and every one of you. And 20 years later, all of your support is what keeps us going. Because of you, we've been able to create thousands of USA jobs and help millions get the best sleep ever. To thank you, my employees and I are bringing you a limited edition MyPillow. The Giza Elegance MyPillow is made with my patented adjustable fill, the most amazing cotton, and a 2-inch pipe gusset. It has 4 custom loft levels, machine washable and dryable, and you get my 60-day money-back guarantee and 10-year warranty.
Go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get your limited edition 20th anniversary MyPillow queen size. Retails for $69.98, now only $19.98. That's right, get a queen size MyPillow for only $19.98.
From all of us here at MyPillow,
Thanks, America!
All right, we are back, and we have the documents, folks. It does look, again, like the Jones Meister is correct, and they're going to try to run this up. So I'm going to say it again for those that may be just joining us. If, in fact, these restrictions are starting to be imposed in your workplace, in your school, it's over. Leave. You need to leave. You need to immediately make a plan and leave. That's it. And then if there are places that they tell you have to go to, you need to go. It's donezo. You can't do it. Like, I'll tell you right now, they bring back any of these restrictions whatsoever at the airport, done flying. Not happening. Okay, I won't do it. And the first time a store asks me no, I'm leaving. I'm walking out the door. We're not doing this again. We're not. That's it. All right. Let's continue down the line here on this Google policy. Okay. So now we're at the V word misinformation. That's a long one. Look at that. Oh yeah. So the boopity boop. Let's see. Claims that contradict health authorities and WHO guidance on safety, efficacy, and ingredients of currently administered and approved you-know-whats. You-know-what safety. Content alleging that any V-words cause chronic side effects, such as cancer or paralysis, outside of rare side effects that are recognized by health authorities. Examples. Claims that the MMR can cause autism. Claims that any causes contraction of the nightmare. It's crazy. Can't make any claims that the V words are part of a depopulation agenda. Claims that the flu causes causes chronic side effects such as infertility or causes contraction of the nightmare. Claims that the HPV boobity boop causes chronic side effects such as paralysis. Claims that an approved COVID-19 boobity will cause death, infertility, miscarriage, autism, or contraction of other infectious diseases. This is a long one. I mean, just going down the line on the examples here. Let's see. Claims that achieving herd immunity through natural infection is safer than boobity in the population. So that's interesting. Herd immunity through natural infection is not allowed. Huh. Is that because that's a WHO thing? Content that promotes the use of unapproved or homemade what? COVID-19 V words? There's a big unapproved homemade market right now for Shigga shots. What is this? I mean, come on, man. Oh, by the way, we got some seriously terrible Joe Biden coming up. Joe Biden went to Maui. And by the way, it seems like, and this is really dark, we've been talking about it the last several days, but it looks like, I told you, many of the victims are children. It's the governor finally owning up to it. So, they're talking about 1,000 missing. 700-800 of those are probably kids. Minimum. You just think about that. Think about how the media is not focusing on that. Think about what's really going on over there right now. And then Joe, I mean, it's pretty egregious. All this is dark. This all sucks. Today's show isn't the feel-good show. I hate to tell everybody. I don't want to come on here and tell you that, we're seeing contracts for them trying to impose mandates again and restrictions again right here. I don't want to show you that because I don't want it to be real, but it's real. And I don't want to show you the fact that, again, colleges are saying you better, we're in the summertime, everybody. Summertime. Okay? And then the medical workers. How long until the TSA workers are going to be, on this? And again, we're going to play this clip at the top of the second hour, rvmrumble.com. Let's continue here with the YouTube policies, okay? So here we go, is the efficacy. Content claiming that the boobities do not reduce transmission or contraction of disease. So, I mean, I don't think that's just in regards to the C word here. We're walking on eggshells. Think about that. Even reading their own documentation on what's not allowed, I'm worried I might get banned for that. Because there's just so many words in it here. Claims that the V words do not reduce the risk of contracting illness. Claims that the V words do not reduce the severity of illness, including hospitalization or death. Claims that any V word is a guaranteed prevention method for COVID-19. They love to have their cake and eat it too, huh? Content misrepresenting the ingredients contained in all V words. Examples. Claims that V words contain substances that are not on the ingredient list, such as biological matter from fetuses, e.g. fetal tissue, fetal cell lines, or animal byproducts. Okay. Claims that the V words contain substances or devices meant to track or identify those who have received them. Claims that the vaccines alter a person's genetic makeup. Claims the V words will make people who receive them magnetic. And again, I think they automatically put so much of the ridiculousness in there. So then they've got CDC, the European authorities, the UK's National Health Service. For some reason, we care about Korea and India and Japan. Right? Because it's all under what? The World Health Organization and the UN by proxy. In your face. Authoritarian dictates from an unelected global governance and their corporate and global cohorts. Right there. Right there. Transmission information. Take a look at this one. Content that promotes transmission information that contradicts local health authorities. So again, they get to say whatever they want at the time, and if you contradict it, because I had a bunch of videos taken down for me just playing doctors talking about transmission. By the way, they were local health authorities. They're on TV. They were TV doctors. And me repeating the words they said after they said them got my videos taken down. Content that claims that the nightmare is not caused by viral infection. Content that claims the nightmare is caused by radiation from 5G networks. Content that claims the C word is not contagious. Content that claims the C word cannot spread in certain climates or geographies. Content that claims that any group or individual has immunity to the virus or cannot transmit the virus. We're not done. We got a few more to go down. We got a few more to go down. I'm sorry. Well, this is a good one too. Treatment misinformation again. Last time we stopped at gasoline, kerosene, and diesel, right? But now we got more. Content that recommends the use of specific methods for the treatment of cancer when those have not been approved by local health authorities or the WHO as safe or effective, or have been confirmed to be harmful or ineffective for cancer treatment. Examples. Content that promotes the use of the following methods for the treatment of cancer outside of clinical trials. I don't know what calcium chlorides or cesium salts are. Hoxotherapy, coffee enemas, Gerson therapy. The Gerson method, they made fun of in that movie. I think it's The Road to Wellville. Content that claims that the following methods are safe or effective for the treatment of cancer outside of clinical trials. Let's see. Anti-neoplastation therapy. So that is Dr. I think Stanislaw Brzezinski. I wouldn't want to direct you to any documentary about him, but he had some success, allegedly, using that, but certainly not with all of them. But that's a really interesting film on Stanislaw. Quercetin, intravenous injections, methadone, and then over-the-counter chelation therapy. Again, content that promotes the use of ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine for the treatment of you know what. Just still can't talk about those things. Content that claims that there is a guaranteed cure for cancer outside of approved treatment. Content that claims that there is a guaranteed cure for the 1984 nightmare. Bam! Look at that. You gotta love that. Look at this list. Well, let's scroll back up. It's a whole video. Get ready, because they're about to start deleting accounts again. Here we go. So here we are. Harmful alternative methods and discouragement of professional treatment. Again, not telling you what to do medically at all. I'm telling you right now, if mandates and restrictions come to your job or they come to your school, it's time to leave. It's time to leave. That's it. It's not only time to leave. It's time to leave and make a plan for if too many people go along with it. Again. Just reality. And that's why this is Reality Rants. By the way, second hour coming up, RVMRumble.com. RVMRumble.com. I've got a slew of videos that I haven't even touched yet, that I haven't played. It certainly looks like we won't be getting to Dan Dix today. It will be tomorrow. I haven't even touched the Hawaii stuff because this is really important. Again, when you have the documents on the table that they're going to buy into this again, and you got the propaganda rolling out in unison, and you got the great narrative out there with tech companies that are Trojan horse civilian systems and extensions of the military-industrial complex and its agenda, we're in a bad spot. They might just try it again. They might just try it again. I mean, wow. So here we go. Content that claims that approved treatments for cancer are never effective. Examples: content that claims that approved treatments for cancer, such as chemotherapy or radiation, are never effective. Content that discourages people from seeking approved treatment for cancer. Claims that alternative treatments are safer or more effective than approved treatments for cancer. You know what? It's weird. I haven't seen here. I haven't seen them attack the Rick Simpson oil. I would have thought that would have come up by now. But RSO, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen marijuana on here in a concentrated THC format. It's interesting. But we're going to continue. Excuse me. Content that claims that juicing has better results than chemotherapy in treating cancer. Content that recommends alternative treatments in place of approved treatments for cancer. Content that promotes diet and exercise instead of seeking approved treatment for cancer. I would think that if you can have diet and exercise on top of whatever treatment, that would be a good thing, but apparently not. Discouraging people from consulting a medical professional or seeking medical advice if they are sick with the nightmare. Content that encourages the use of home remedies, prayer, or rituals in place of medical treatment for the nightmare, such as consulting a doctor or going to the hospital. Content, that's just crazy. Don't pray. Miracles don't exist. Your religion is a joke. Trust the science of the World Health Organization. Well, you know, I got going. I didn't even play the next commercial. We got to play that commercial, guys. I went 2 minutes deep because this is just so much. So let's play that commercial. We're going to come back. Almost 400 watching. Let's get 200 thumbs up. Don't leave. Short break. We'll be back in just a moment.
We interrupt today's programming to bring unfortunate news. Biden's dangerous plan for a digital dollar is underway. Don't be fooled. It won't benefit you. So take action now. The Federal Reserve's phased deployment of FedNow began on July 1st, 2023. Be prepared. This may catch many off guard and put your hard-earned assets in jeopardy. But here's the good news. There's a simple legal tax loophole to opt out of the digital dollar. Speak to someone at American Alternative Assets for a free wealth protection guide and discover how to safeguard your wealth with gold and silver IRAs against a failing dollar and volatile markets. Dial 833, the number 2 USA Gold. Yes, call now, 833-287-2465. This invaluable guide provides precise steps to transfer your IRA or 401k into precious metals without any tax consequences. Don't let Biden force you into using the government's new digital dollar. Call 833, the number 2 USA Gold. Yes, call now. 833-287-2465. Act swiftly. 833-287-2465.
All right, we are back. Thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. And remember, the second hour is over at rvmrumble.com, rvmrumble.com. It's redvoicemedia.com/uncensored for 2 extra interviews every single week that you won't get anywhere else, and you help support the broadcast. That's how we does it. You know, again, guys, I'm not making millions. This trip out to Reawaken, I don't get paid a dime for it, even though I got a killer deal on a flight. Let me tell you again, it's another grand plus out of pocket. Obviously would not be able to do that without you guys. So please consider supporting alternative media, checking me out on the other platforms where I am not censored. And again, the second hour, we give you a whole nother hour for free 4 days a week. That I get to speak a little bit more freely. And maybe we need to speak a little bit more freely, because look at all this. Look at all this. I mean, come on. Content that encourages the use of home... Oh, we did that one. Content that contradicts local health authorities or the WHO's guidance on safety of chemical and surgical abortion. Wow. So you can't question the safety of abortion? That's another, I guess it's anything. This is why I'm talking about, I mean, let's just type it in here. Let's go World Health Organization transgender. Okay? Because they got a whole thing. Like, are they gonna? This is I mean, a whole thing. That's nothing. They got look at this, scholarly articles. They're gonna help you out. World Health Organization putting this out. It's 2012. like again, that was an HIV thing right there. But let's see. Here we go. Announces the guidelines on the health of trans and gender diverse people. You see this? It's June 23. June 23. They're gearing up to just delete everybody outside their little narrative. Isn't that nice? Don't speak up. Don't speak up. Let's try to wrap this up. There's so much here. Okay. Let's see. Content that claims that juicing has better results than chemo in treating cancer. Content that recommends alternative treatments in place of approved treatments for cancer. Content that promotes diet and exercise instead of seeking approved treatment for cancer. Discouraging people from consulting a medical professional or seeking medical advice if they're sick with COVID-19. Content that encourages the use of home remedies, prayers, rituals. I mean, again, with the nightmare? Come on. Oh, we did all that. Sorry. Let's see. Claims that abortion causes breast cancer. Claims that abortion commonly results in or carries a high risk of infertility or future miscarriage. Promotion of alternative abortion methods in place of chemical or surgical methods deemed safe by health authorities. Promotion of alternative formulas for infants in place of breast milk or commercial formula. Denial. Misinformation. Content that denies the existence of the nightmare or that people have died from the nightmare. Denial it exists. Let's see. Denial that people have not died or gotten sick from it. Claims that there have not been cases or deaths in countries where cases or death have been confirmed by local health authorities and the WHO. So, here's where they give everybody the out. Right? Here's the out. We may allow content that violates the misinformation policies noted on this page if that content includes additional context in the video, audio, title, or description. This is not a pass to promote misinformation. Additional context may include countervailing views from local health authorities or medical experts. We may also make exceptions if the purpose of the content is to condemn, dispute, or satirize misinformation that violates our policies. It's all selective enforcement. We may also make exceptions for content discussing the results of a specific medical study or showing an open public forum like a protest or public hearing, provided the content does not aim to promote misinformation that violates our policies. YouTube also believes people should be able to share their own experiences, including personal experiences with the V word, for example. This means we may make exceptions for content in which creators describe firsthand experiences for themselves or their family. Give me a break. I see that all the time on YouTube. At the same time, we recognize there's a difference between sharing a personal experience and promoting misinformation. Is there? To address this balance, we will still remove content or channels if they include other policy violations or demonstrate a pattern of promoting medical misinformation. So, this basically just tells you the 3-strike system, blah, blah, blah. That's it right there. Won't be able to post for 90 days. Pretty long, pretty extensive, pretty broad. And it puts our narratives under the full control of the United Nations. Because let me tell you something, guys. A little secret in case you didn't know. It's really not a secret. Joe Biden not only doesn't run anything, nobody wanted him in Hawaii.
Here he comes after 13 days.
Wow, he's finally here! Wow, yeah! Awesome. Yeah, thanks for nothing. Fuck you!
So, Donald Trump couldn't go anywhere without hundreds, if not thousands of people on the side of the road or at the events cheering him on as he went. Joe Biden being forced to cover, and they didn't want him. Look how bad he looks. It's worse than this, by the way. Okay, he can't speak. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's saying. He can barely stay awake, okay? It's a disaster. People don't want him here. They're not acknowledging the dead children. It's not even a thing. This is disgusting.
You guys,
boots on.
You guys catch the boots out here? That's a hot ground, man.
Hello, everybody. All right, Chris, we're going to jump ahead to the next spot, okay, guys? Thank you.
I mean, what? This isn't a time to be funny. Hot ground, man. You got the boots. He's barely awake. In fact, he's not awake.
We are a community that relies on family, on ohana, whether by blood or by friendship. But like many others,
a lot of dead kids. A lot of dead kids. This is the babble you get.
I don't want to compare difficulties, but we have a little sense, Jill and I, what it's like to lose a home. Years ago, now 15 years ago, I was in Washington doing Meet the Press. It was a sunny Sunday, and lightning struck at home on a little lake. It's outside of our home, not a lake, a big pond.
Not a lake, a big pond. I can barely stay awake, and I'm talking about a house fire, and we got dead kids everywhere. We're in the post-truth world, everybody.
And hit a wire and came up underneath our home into the heating ducts, the air conditioning duct. To make a long story short, I almost lost my wife, my 67 Corvette.
Wow. Almost lost your 67 Corvette. That would have been pretty big. You know, they got dead kids, Joe. There's a bunch of dead kids, Joe.
And my cat. But all kidding aside, I watched the firefighters, the way they responded. You know, there's an old expression. I grew up right across the street from a fire hall in Claymont, Delaware.
He doesn't know what he's saying. Do you get how far gone we are right now? I want to cry. Like, this is awful. And this is where we're at. So thumbs it up. Subscribe. Share. We're going to be going over to that second hour in a moment. There's going to be one more small commercial break for IPVanish, which I actually use. IPVanish is my favorite VPN. Wouldn't say it otherwise. I feel bad that I even plugged the VPN commercial I've got to put out in a second. A product I use, thinking about how obscene and absurd this situation is. That you had a bunch of kids in school sent home from the fires. They didn't put the alarm bells off. Okay? And those kids were burned to death. And now they're slowly but sure, and there's 1,000 people missing. 1,000 people, and most of them are kids. And this guy's got a goddamn thing around his chest talking about hometown firefighters and Corvettes. Going to go to a commercial. We're going to come back in a second. You want to support the broadcast? redvoicemedia.com/uncensored. $10 a month. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I mean, geez,
We love the internet, but the internet is tracking everything you do. Take control of your online privacy with IPVanish. People with malicious intent are everywhere, watching you. Criminals can hack your Wi-Fi, while broadband providers and advertisers monitor your data. With IPVanish on your device, your internet activity is encrypted. No one can see what you're doing. Your location, your connection, completely hidden. Protect your internet privacy today with IPVanish.
All right, YouTube, you know the deal. Oh,
We interrupt.
we'll interrupt that. You know the deal. You got to go over to rvmrumble.com for the second hour. I do love you guys. But, again, think about how much we can't say here. And our channel could just be gone. Poof. Out of nowhere. Any day now. That could be a real reality. So consider supporting the broadcast. Check out the alternative platforms. redvoicemedia.com/uncensored. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do it.